everyone, and welcome to the Music is Our Hero podcast, hosted by Grammy Award winner Drea Young. This is the spot where we celebrate creativity, share stories, and lift each other up in the arts. Each episode will dive into conversations that inspire, empower, and spark new ideas, because art isn't just about what we make, it's about the community we build together. So grab a seat, get comfy, and let's grow in creativity side by side. The Music is Our Hero podcast for creativity, community, and inspiration come to life.
All right, so here I am today. We are in Drowning Fish's live room, actually, with one of the OGs we just found out in the podcast I did with Jason, McGuire, who also goes by AMAC, that I have not seen in a long time. This is crazy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Drea, really wild on both levels, being here and being with you as well for me.
Yeah. So AMAC, right? Yeah, AMAC.
Call me AMAC. Sure,
AMAC, yeah. AMAC, it has a lot of stories. So I met her back in probably like 2011, 2012. We never really hung out much after that, but have followed each other, I'm sure, on social media. Like, we see each other. From audio engineering to being an artist to, podcasting, doing stuff to like mentoring and mental health and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot to talk about.
A journey, yeah. We have.
I don't even have to talk.
Say.
I feel like I don't even have to talk.
Probably not. I could probably just start from the beginning and end up wherever we are now.
That's perfect. I love that. So why don't you just start?
Oh,
with
gosh.
Something. I don't know why.
No, ask me a question.
All right, start with a question. Okay, so let's just start with like music in general. When did you find out that you loved music so much that you were going to like create this whole path?
Well, the moment I found out that I loved music was, do you know the movie Hardball with Keanu Reeves when he coaches a kids baseball team?
I'm horrible with movies.
My gosh. It's a popular movie. Okay, it's a popular movie. But
I believe you. I just don't know movies.
So in this movie, the kid who pitches on the baseball team, he can't pitch unless he is listening to Big Papa by Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
And when I was watching that movie, it must have been about 11 years old. That was the first time I had ever heard Biggie. And that was like in, aging myself here, but in Napster's prime days. And as soon as the movie was over, I was like at my friend's house down the street. I ran home and I downloaded every Biggie song there was.
And that's where it started.
Yeah. It was like, I'm sure.
So were you like, I know you don't want to age yourself, but were you like 10?
Yeah, I was like 11.
11, okay.
10, 11. But yeah, I'm sure Biggie never thought that he was, making music for me. That was like, at all.
He was like, AMAC, this is for you.
Yeah. But, it was like that moment, it was like, I understood myself better, and that was kind of how I fell in love with music. But after that, I didn't like go into making music until I was 19, actually.
Okay, so you were just jamming out for years? Like, did you do any, like, writing? Did you do anything? Or did you just listen to it?
I just listened to it. I mean, I curated, like, all the playlists for our parties. And when I say playlists, I definitely mean burned CDs.
So you were almost a DJ.
I was almost a DJ, yeah. It was very, very
close. So you were working at that, but you didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
It's what you haven't done yet. Maybe you'll be a DJ soon.
Yeah, I think, well
nothing's
impossible.
Nothing's impossible. That's right. So, let's just stay where we were. So, sure. Okay, so when you were 19, what happened?
So I was going to community college to be a journalist, and I was failing all of my papers, everything. And I worked really, really hard on a paper. I was like, I definitely got an A on this. Didn't get an A on it. Super failed it again. And
oh no,
I know. Well, turns out I'm dyslexic, but that's a story for another time.
It was really
hard
happened?
to spell and be a journalist. If you can't tell that the letters are reversed. But I didn't know.
Yeah, and that was way before AI.
Yeah, before
right. It was
anyone
fixing
could tell
everything.
Me, right? But yes, I went to the administrative office right after that class, and I dropped out of college without telling anyone I was going to drop out. And I got in my car, and I still lived with my parents at the time. And I was like, I should probably come up with some kind of plan. So even though I'm telling you, I didn't do any music because I didn't, but I loved hip hop. Like after, I fell in love with Biggie, like I fell in love with hip hop and the culture and the art form of it. And I wanted to make beats. And I asked my parents for an MPC, but they just told me that I quit everything. And well, they had me like in baton class. So yeah, I quit baton, but I wanted to make beats. But they didn't believe me.
You beat them with your baton.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I was like, all right, I wanted to make beats. They told me no, but maybe that's what I'll do now. So I went to the library before I went home and I searched for production music schools. And that's what I went home, told my parents I was going to do. They said, cool, you just got to do it on your own. Yeah, I was like, all right. And that led me to audio engineering school. I didn't go to a school for production at all. I don't even, swear, I have no idea.
You did make beats, though.
I did make beats.
When I met you, I think you were making beats. Do you still make beats?
I don't. I stopped making beats in like 2019.
Okay.
And
but
focused
but
on
you
mixing.
did. But you did. Okay. And then that got you into how did the audio engineering? That's just what you ended up going to school for?
It is. And honestly, to this day, I have no idea how I ended up being an audio engineer.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
That's crazy.
It really is.
Because in my story, it kind of was in there through my life. Like I had a 4-track, and then I had this. So but for you, you're just I don't know how. Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, and I think, and I honestly, I really don't know why I chose the audio engineering program. But I really, really don't. I'm sure there was some thought process there, but it's not in my brain anymore.
I don't know.
But I did realize after that engineering was going to be the quickest way that I could make money.
That's what happened to me, I think.
Way before I was going to be able to make money off of beats, I would be able to record somebody.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of what led me into, being my career. But then, I mean, audio engineering just came at me. There was nothing I could do to stop that from happening to me once it started.
Yeah, you know what Jason and I call that? It's a disease.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it really is. It's a problem. So you did that for a little while. I know you were at Dobbs, and then you left.
Yeah, well, what happened?
Well, I don't know if there's more.
There is a little
that's
more.
all I only know
Sure.
what I know. Yeah.
So I didn't want to be a live sound engineer ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I love live sound. I know, yeah.
But I don't even know. Seriously, the day that I decided that I was going to do music, I don't even know if I knew what an audio engineer was. Swear, I literally don't know how it happened to me. But I really don't. And so, I mean, before this here, partnering with Jason was before Dobbs. So when
that's what he said.
Yeah, when I tried to figure out how to be an audio engineer, I just used Craigslist. That's how I met Jason, on Craigslist.
Yeah, Craigslist came up in our conversation.
Craigslist was crazy. Instagram wasn't even a thing yet.
No.
That's where you found things and where to meet people.
It was.
And
I found some gigs because of Craigslist back in the day.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have time for the amount of stories from my travels on Craigslist. But that is how I met Jason and then partnered with him here. And it is also how I got the job at Dobbs. So I was here, and that didn't work out for the reasons it didn't work out for. And I was out of all of my money. I had no money. I got a job at Jimmy John's, went in for one day, walked out, quit. Well, I mean,
was Jimmy John's a steak place?
Jimmy John's is a hoagie place, or a sub place for those of you not from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And yeah, I went in one day, was like, nah, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to figure out how to make music work. And then a week later, I saw the listing for Dobbs. And the crazy part, there's so many crazy parts to my story, but I'd also just quit drinking 3 weeks prior to getting the job at Dobbs. When I worked here, my job was to go around to all the open mics promoting the studio. Yeah. And I was promoting the studio while I was getting blackout drunk all the time.
Oh, yeah, I know how to do it.
So it was crazy because I was also going to Dobbs getting blackout drunk. And I'd still remember the first time when I went in there, and it was John Fay's open mic, and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about the studio. And I remember they took me behind the doors, and I was like, oh my God, I'm behind the doors at Dob. I'm backstage. I can't believe it, And then a few weeks later, I ended up working there and spending, 5 years of my life there. But the Craigslist ad said, we're opening the upstairs venue, and pretty much we'll accept anyone who's willing to accept $60 a night.
Oh, okay.
And I was
that's
like,
a good, whatever,
hey.
for a foot in.
Yeah, I mean, I literally had no money.
Yeah, so it's, yes.
And it was a way into music,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that, and then, that led to me becoming a professional live sound engineer and touring and working all over Philly.
So who are some of the artists that you've worked with through this accident story? The accidental live sound engineer.
My accidental live sound story had me, one of my favorite gigs I've ever done in my life was doing a live funk band and Big Daddy Kane.
Oh, wow.
That was at Dobbs. That was incredible.
That's cool.
Head PE, I got to do sound for them. And then I got to go on tour with Fetty Wap and Post Malone.
Oh, how did that go? Like like a big tour?
Yes. It was a 2-month-long nationwide tour in 2016.
So how did you get that gig?
Do you know Barb Adams?
No.
So,
But this was like now Dobbs is disappear. Like that's like a major label gig, it sounds like.
no, that's not how I got it.
No.
So that version of Dobbs was defunct in like 2015.
Okay.
And so that's when I left. And I also worked with an artist, Whitney Payton.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right, and I produced for her and recorded for her, but I go on tour with her as well. We were like out with like the Cottonmouth King, stuff like that. And so Barb worked at the Tin Angel. She was the sound person there.
Okay.
And it's crazy because the reason I met Barb literally was just because people told her about me. And she called me because she was like, you're another woman sound engineer. I just want to reach out to you.
Yeah.
And I need someone to cover a gig.
Perfect.
And then years later, she called me when I was out on tour with Whitney and just asked me, hey, somebody called me and wanted to know if I wanted to do front of house for a rapper. I don't, but do you? And I was like, yeah.
You're like, what's happening? I never even cared to be one of these engineers.
Yeah, and insane. But the tour that I was on, like I was doing everything but being an audio engineer for Whitney at that point.
Okay.
And I was just like, yeah, I want to actually be doing my job. And it was just time to, move on at that point. So I was like, yeah, like whatever, like let's go. And then she called me back an hour later and she said, it's actually for Fetty Wap. And that was the year that he had like 5 songs in the top 10.
Yeah.
It was insane. And I was like,
Right.
yeah. And she's like, you still want to do it? I was like, yeah, definitely. And they called me probably a couple weeks later and they were like, we're going to have you do sound for everybody on the tour. And this kid's going to open for WAP. His name's Post Malone.
Wow.
I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
When I looked him up, all he had was like White Iverson at the time. So that was really
he
cool
hadn't
to be
even
there
had
at the
like
beginning of his
Rockstar
career.
and all those. What year was this? Like 15, 16?
2016, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so went and did that. And
So who was that a big production? That tour? Like what was it?
honestly, no.
No?
All we carried were mics, a huge LED screen from Monster who, sponsored the tour.
Okay.
And everything else, I was working with the venue gear, house gear,
okay.
every show, yeah.
Yeah. So what size shows were those?
So we played a lot of like Fillmore's House of Blues.
Okay.
And then we also did like the Bryce Joyner Center at Penn State and festivals and stuff like that. So it varied from probably like 2,000 to maybe like 10,000. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So they weren't like super ginormous, but big.
No, but they were way
cool
bigger. They were
than Dobbs.
way bigger than anything
You'd ever done.
that I had ever done. Actually, a really cool full circle moment of my life was the first concert I ever saw was the Backstreet Boys at the Bryce Joyner Center. And then the first time I ever did front of house in a stadium was at the Bryce Joyner Center.
Were you nervous?
Yes. And
that is a cool full circle moment.
it was great. Well, they literally, because there were also literally pictures of the Backstreet Boys tour, like on
You're
the
like,
wall.
what is
"Whoa."
life?
It's so insane. But yeah, what I just did every show, especially in the beginning of the tour, was I would go up to all the house people and I'd be like, hey, so listen, I've never done places this big before. So you guys, will you help me? Because for some reason people gave me this gig.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and they did.
That's how you learn too. You just get thrown to the wolves.
For sure. I mean, it's what I wanted.
It's cool.
It was a crazy, crazy opportunity that I couldn't pass.
How long
up.
did the tour last?
It was 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then after that, so on that tour, I met a mentor. And after it, she was like, yo, you don't even want to do live sound, and you just like did like a huge tour of this year. She's like, you really want to make records? If you really want to make records, I think you need to move to LA.
Ah, that's how that happened.
And yeah, and I was like, because I never wanted to move to LA ever. I love this is my soul city. Philly's my soul city. Like literally the frequencies of my body feel better when I am here.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Philly.
Yeah,
Isn't that weird?
It is, but I was like, okay.
It's actually not weird, but
Well, yeah. Because
it's real.
City.
Philly's real.
It is. Even when I was driving here, I was like, damn, I think maybe like LA made me soft because these streets look hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets crazy.
No, but love Philly. But she was like, yeah, you want to make records. Like, so I think if you really want to do it, you have to. And I was like, all right, sure. And fortunately for me, my brother actually lived in LA.
Oh, okay, good.
So I was able to, me, him, and his girlfriend at the time, we all got a place together. So at least, I knew somebody. But I had no idea what I was going to do when I got out there.
Yeah, so you had nothing lined up.
No.
So then, so now what?
Well, I knew I had a really good live sound resume.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard of the organization Sound Girls before?
Maybe because I feel like I have, but maybe it was something. Did you ever have that on your socials?
Yeah, I worked with them plenty of times.
Okay.
And at the time, now they really cater to all sound disciplines.
Yeah.
But then it was really live sound based. The woman who started it, Carrie Keys, has been monitors for Pearl Jam for their whole entire career.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. But so obviously a lot of people from this organization were in LA. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go out there and then I'm just going to meet with everybody from that organization. Anyone who, my plan ever to do things is just to talk to as many people as will speak to me about it. That's why I did everything on Craigslist. I just had to talk to people. I didn't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, went out there, got a gig at a really cool, like, it was an Italian restaurant, but they had a dinner theater upstairs, which was really cool. I mean, probably one of the greatest gigs I ever had in my life because nobody's not good in LA. Everybody is like top of the world class musicians, like Broadway singers. I got to do sound for Dick Van Dyke.
Okay.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
At 92, he gave me the best vocal input anyone's ever given me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, just so ran around doing that. My mentor flew out. She knew a guy who owned a studio out there. We hung out there for about a week. She was a songwriter, so she was just writing songs. And at the end of the week, I went up to the guy. His name's JP, an incredible mentor of mine and also a really good friend of mine at this point. And I was like, hey, can we have a meeting? I'd like to work here. And he was like, sure, just bring your template along for the meeting. Just want to see what your template's like. So, I got to LA and I was like...
Your template? What, your like studio template?
Yeah, like a vocal recording template, which is something you super need in LA.
Yeah.
And I didn't have one. Like, it's actually crazy that I thought that I was good at recording when I lived in Philadelphia. I was not.
Yeah.
I was a live sound engineer. Like, no. LA put me through like the ringer of that. But I had watched him that whole week that I hung out. So off of my memory, I made a template that looked as close to his as I could make it.
Yeah.
And when I went into the meeting, he was like, "Oh man, this template looks so much like mine. Like, let's bring you on the team. It's like, all right, great. So yeah, that's how so Melrose Sound that's how I started working.
You got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, for sure. And I was fortunate, and this
Sounds
also,
like there's a lot in your story that's almost faking it till you make it.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you're really doing it, but at the same time, you're like, well, and I just got to figure this out, I guess. This is where I'm at now, and I don't know why, but...
Yeah, I mean, you just keep going. And I think there's so many times in my story where I'm faking it till I'm making it, but I don't know that, nor do I think that.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I'm very super confident in like...
Well, that's what it is. I was going
right?
to say is confidence too. Like being a strong person and like not doubting yourself, you know? Because when you doubt yourself, when people doubt themselves, you know, it's not going to happen the same. Like you might not know what you're doing, but as long as you seem like you know what you're doing, you're going to make it.
You just got to show up. If people, you know,
you can't be like, oh, I can't do this or I can't. Nope, I'm doing it.
And yeah, don't be afraid of looking dumb. Like I'll never forget on tour when I didn't know what a BNC cable was, and they asked me for the BNC. And I was like, I don't know what that is, and they were like, you don't know what it is, and like you're on this tour. I was like, no, please show me and tell me what a BNC cable is.
Yeah,
you know. And then they did, and then I knew forever. You
right.
know, and like so when I was in the studio,
and it's better
stuff,
to not be a know-it-all in
for
the studio,
sure.
well, in life in general, but in the studio, like just if you don't know, don't. Yeah, like you're saying, don't be afraid. Like just ask.
Yeah,
and then you know.
And fortunately, like with JP and with Dobbs, they were environments where they wanted me to succeed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I made a lot of mistakes, but they wanted to help me, and I think. So many times throughout my life, a lot of people have just been like, we can see how much you want to do this and how much you care about it. And I think that's a thing that really like propelled me more than anything.
Yeah.
Because like they were like, Allie's not going to make this mistake again. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? She's going to learn from it and she wants to be here. So that's an incredible asset for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Melrose was a cool place. People just starting out would record there, but also major labels would record there.
Okay.
JP was the head engineer at Atlantic Records for a long time, so a lot of clientele like came over with him. And you know, the first big session he ever put me on was Kelly Rowland. And the first time that Kelly Rowland said my name, you know, no pun intended. I really don't ever mean to make that joke, but it's impossible. There's like no other way to say it.
Right.
You know? But like when she was like, Allie, will you get me a piece of paper? And I was like, shut the up. Me. Not just like, hey, you girl, Allie. Yeah. That was really cool. And yeah, then JP just kind of, you know, kept me on the sessions there. I also started working at Good Music at the time. Another great lesson in life is when I was on tour with Whitney one time in Anaheim, met this guy, Bill. And Bill wrote his number down on a little piece of paper and said, Allie, if you're ever in LA, hit me up. I kept that piece of paper for 2.5 years before I moved to LA. And I hit up Bill. And I was just like, hey, Bill, I'm here. And he was like, he was like, cool.
That's funny.
But he was also he was the head engineer at Good Music prior to me coming out there, and he was like super busy with what he was now doing.
Yeah.
So literally from the time I hit up Bill, I didn't meet with him for 8 years, but I kept up with him even though he was busy. He was like, "Look, I'm sorry, I don't have time to meet up with you."
Wait, you told him you were there and you didn't meet up with him for 8 years?
Yes. Yes. But he was busy and he knew he was busy. So he said, I can't meet up with you for coffee. This is when I first moved there. And he was like, I'm going to put you in touch with the studio manager at Good Music. So he just connected me with her, and that's how I started working there.
Okay.
And then, and me and Bill like kept in touch
and
over
you both
time.
were working there?
No, he didn't work there
anymore.
anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
He had moved on.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, then I was just kind of like working all over LA. Eventually I got hired at Atlantic Records, and then I got fired at Atlantic Records for wearing basketball shorts.
Really?
Yes.
So weird. Yeah, I mean, I worked with the majors for 2 years and I left. It wasn't really for me, but I don't feel like that's a good reason to fire somebody.
I know it's a pretty shitty reason to fire somebody, especially when the male engineers are wearing basketball shorts, but nobody says anything to them. Yeah.
Weirdos.
But, you know, honestly.
So then you got fired because of basketball shorts.
I did.
Do you still wear basketball shorts?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, you know I do.
That's your style.
It is. It's like, that's it.
So what they want you to wear?
I never
I'm going to be
knew.
honest. I never was told what to wear to a session.
It was, I would love to know, like, the person who really had a problem with it. They told me that I could wear cargo shorts if I wanted, and I was just like,
maybe it was the team.
what is the difference? Except cargo shorts are ugly, but but I literally, I wrote a whole email to HR telling them how ridiculous it was. I was like, they were telling me like I looked like I was showing up to work, but I wasn't ready to work. I was like, nobody who's ever worked with me would ever say that to you. That's ridiculous. Nobody thinks it. I don't know which one of you thinks it.
No
but
one
it's
is even going to
nobody.
say that in studio. Like,
No,
in a place of creativity.
That's what I said. Like, artists were like wearing plastic bags and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, have you seen what they wear?
And but I told them too. I was like, one, I am showing up to work. Also, two, like, people are doing drugs. People are doing drugs, and I can't wear basketball shorts.
That's crazy. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah. It's okay. 4 years later, I got rehired in the same seat that I was fired in simply because I was me. And then I quit again. So, the major label.
Wait, so you got fired the first time? Atlantic Records again?
Yes.
And then you went back and then you quit?
Yes.
Okay. And what made you quit?
Because nothing had changed.
Right.
When I look back, when I had to ask myself, it would have, even if it was like the greatest gig ever, I think I probably would have left because like that's just crazy, and I don't want to feel uncomfortable when I don't need to. Nobody else is wearing. We're not wearing uniforms,
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. We're in the studio, but like they weren't. You think getting a major label gig is like, oh, you've made it? Like, no, they pay you the least money.
Right.
They make you, it's like, here's the
You're a
start time.
slave.
There's no end time.
No end
so
time.
that means that you have to stay until whenever the artist is done, even if that was 48 hours later.
I used to get the one manager dude, like the song would be songwriting sessions, and the songwriter, like they would push him and push him and push him, and I'd be the engineer, and dude would be sleeping on the couch. And it'd be like 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning. Like we've been working all night, and it's like, dude. Like, we need to go home and go to bed and come back to this, but you're just wanting this to get pumped out. So I understand what you're talking about. Which is
Yeah.
part of sometimes engineering, but
it's not, and it is, and I know that, but there are good conditions and there are bad conditions for that, and people who respect you and people who don't.
yeah, it doesn't
And,
have to be.
No,
That's
like,
how this started, and I left,
Yeah.
there's a whole way we could do this and it'd be cool.
No, absolutely. And like the second time that I went, back to Atlantic, there was like a session that just went like 17 hours. And I mean, these people were plastered. I mean, for 14 of those 17 hours,
Oh my God.
and it was honestly like an abusive situation. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get into the specifics on like this
Uh-huh.
podcast, but things were really, really messed up. And I didn't get into music for that,
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, I had done all
It
the.
feels
all
good
the
though when
things
you
anyway,
live those experiences and like I need to be respected and I'm just walking away from this. Because there's so many people that would want to be in that seat. You know what I mean? Like working with those artists and doing these things. But when you get to that point that you're like, nope, like I'm not taking this disrespect. Like I'm out of here.
Yeah, no.
That's when you're like, wait, I'm cool.
right.
I'm kind of cool.
This is
Like
cool.
I don't even care. Like I don't care who you are, what you Like I'm off. That's what happened to me, anyways.
Yeah, very, very similar.
Yeah.
I remember it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I mean, man, these songwriters, they were so tired. And the one dude comes in and he's drunk and he's high on other things, and like they're like, we gotta write this next record for Cardi B. We gotta keep going, and like the songwriter throws me under the bus because he doesn't want to say it, right? So he's like, I think she's tired. And I'm like, bro, you are tired.
Don't you be talking about me.
So he's like, and then he's like, well, what's your price? What's your price? people will stay for, and I was like, bro, rest is my price. He's like, I'll give you publishing on these records. I was like, there's probably like 150 sessions in LA writing for Cardi B right now, bro. Like, first of all, this song's probably not gonna get placed that we're making at 3:45 in the morning. Okay, we've been here for 15 hours, and also you're not gonna remember this, and also even if you did, you're not gonna give me any publishing, bro.
Right, and you know what's so annoying too with the majors is how long it takes you. If sometimes they don't even pay you.
Oh yeah. No, getting your money. It's a whole thing.
It's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we could.
Yeah, we could
rant on it for
I'm
a
being
long
like quiet.
time.
Yeah, because I don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, we could. But so all right. So you left Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
And now what? How
Well,
long? This was just a few years ago now.
So that was probably 2022. Yeah.
Okay.
So a little bit. And I think it's a good transition to what's happening now,
Yeah.
right? Because all of these things, and it is like a really amazing thing to, be able to walk away and know who you are and stuff. But a lot of my career was a lot of situations like that, right? And a lot of really tough, traumatic things. And we're really like told that that's what it's supposed to be, and you're just supposed to bear it,
Right.
and like eventually you're gonna get to a place,
it's toxic,
right? And it's so toxic. So, but like, for me, speaking from my experience, I was like, once I get a platinum record, a Grammy, or whatever, once that happens for me, then everything is going to be okay. No, that isn't what happens, And yeah, so here I am, platinum and gold award winning and just like wrecked.
Yeah.
I'm emotionally wrecked. I resent all of my success. I don't even know what the point is anymore. And like tons of relationships that I have eventually like also come falling down because they are just built on toxic stuff, and not even just toxic stuff, like everybody's so hurt. Everybody's running around so hurt, and they don't know. We're trying to get outcomes to feel better.
Right.
Never, ever, ever going to work. And you want to talk about fake it till you make it. So towards the end of all of this, I put together an organization to help entrepreneurs live their dreams in a healthy way called The Pocket. And it's going well. I'm doing great, but I've given myself about 6-7 full-time jobs, and even because I'm faking till you make it that I know how to live my dreams in a healthy way, that I even remotely know how to live healthy or remotely feeling a single one of my feelings, actually.
Yeah.
But no, all I'm doing is adding another thing I'm running. So the crazy part about my story is that, I started making all my money 3 weeks after I quit drinking. But what I didn't know was that I just traded alcoholism for overworking. And, becoming successful and living all your dreams in life looks a lot better than throwing chairs through walls. So nobody says anything to you.
Right.
And the hustle culture is what it is.
Yeah.
And
that's a good view.
Took me quite some
It's
time
a
to
good
get there.
view. That's probably what's wrong with me. I'm like, wait a minute. I think I need therapy.
Well, I have a book
little
coming
more.
out.
Yeah, well, I might be your biggest fan.
And I woke up after a really successful event, and I was just like, yo, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I cannot, and I have to figure out why I can't stop treating myself this way.
Yeah.
And, my initial thought was, I'll just take like 2 weeks off. Because 2 weeks was definitely going to be enough.
Yeah.
And it was not. And then I was like, I'll take 2 months off. and then I was never able to actually go back. Like, it's so funny. I'm actually going to have a recording.
Yeah, you've been like transitioning.
Completely. I'm actually going to have a recording session tomorrow night with a friend, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think that I've run a recording session outside of recording myself for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
I mean, I haven't either. Well, I've done some live sound, but like that's with Jason, and he's like kind of reeling me back in, and it is crazy because I haven't in a long time. Like I stopped working out in my home a few years ago. I was like, I don't ever want to do this again. I just want to be in an actual studio. Like if I'm going to do this. So, but with your story, what's kind of cool that you're doing that is like, because I've been watching you kind of, but I didn't know like all the details, and that, you know, you took that time. So it is something that you could go back to, but do it in a healthy way, maybe. If you do, if it happens. It's not like it's something you won't do, is it? I mean, you're doing a session tomorrow, but like, if you find a healthy way, is it like in you? Or no, you never even wanted to be an audio engineer.
I didn't want to be an audio engineer, actually.
Yeah, because you're...
just had to go learn my lessons and all of it.
Yeah, but I mean, you can make money maybe.
Well...
If there's sessions to have, I don't know.
I mean, tomorrow I'm doing it because I really like this guy. Like, I want to help him out. So it aligns with me. So I'll do anything that aligns with me and feels good.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point
of
all the time I took and all of the work that I did with myself was to just not be doing things like in my insecurities.
Yeah.
You know, and because like I said, like I was looking for an outcome to fix me.
Yeah, that's like the people that were like, if you're like a heroin addict, like I had a friend that was an addict and then she ended up getting off all that, but then was an alcoholic for like, I don't know how long, then 20 or 2021. I think it was 2021. She went like sober. I'm so happy. But like you're saying, like your fix was you got addicted and overworked yourself and didn't give yourself time to actually feel.
Sure. And, you know, I quit drinking when I was 23. And I think that was still really early in my life to understand that it was more than I just couldn't handle my liquor. You know, that I was just couldn't stop myself from over drinking. That I was actually...
You got to be proud of that, though. That's
no,
huge.
14 years is insane.
Insane.
I have
not. I've been drinking since I was 14. So about 40 years. No, not 40.
No,
30. I don't know.
I'm grateful for it every day because it saved my life and it gave me the opportunity every day to finally figure it out.
Yeah.
And what I've done, so that was 2.5 years ago is when I had my breakdown awakening. And I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. Like I was like, none of this makes
that's what
sense.
happened from the journalism. That's how it seems it goes.
So yeah, and then we're just doing something else. We just figure it out.
Figure it out, yeah.
And you know, when I was in the midst of going through it, a girl actually came down to LA to intern for me. And like a week after she got there, I was in full blown, I'm so sorry. I literally can't do this with you because I can't do music anymore. And I hooked her up with, I know, it felt so bad. I was like, oh God. But I introduced her to like all my friends and stuff. So she had, you know, a really great summer being mentored by some really great people.
That's cool.
And she went to Stanford and she was like, hey, I know you, before all this happened, I had started wanting to get into motivational speaking. She was like, I know you want to do speaking. If you still want to do it, I could get you a talk at Stanford. And I was like, okay. And she was like, but I know you don't want to just come and talk about mixing records. So you can come and talk about whatever you want.
That's cool.
And I was like, all right. And like, I'm like literally in like a pit of despair. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tell these kids the music industry sucks.
Yeah,
don't do it.
That's what I did.
But, you know, fortunately I had time and, you know, and fortunately I was successful in my career and I'd saved a good amount of money. I mean, I'm in LA. I had a crazy overhead, but I had the ability to just sit with myself and like cry and scream and freak out and make a mess out of my entire life.
Yeah.
Greatest thing I ever did. Super, super hard, but still encourage everybody to actually feel your feelings and meet them and like don't confront them. You don't need to fight them. You just need to hug them.
Yeah.
Seriously. And through that, I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to tell them the realities of the music industry and how to navigate it through being self-aware. So through
how that started.
Yes. So that's how the Immaculate Mindset Inner Compass came up.
Okay.
And that's how I created it. 3 pillars: awareness, accountability, curiosity. And then the roadmap of it is knowing your core values, your whys, which I break down into your ego and your purpose whys, your whats, which is what you do for your whys and your values, and your hows, which is how you think, act, and feel while you do all of it. And
Wow.
The book is coming out tomorrow, which is January 13th.
Oh, wow.
But it also has an album that accompanies it.
Okay. Your album?
My album.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I became
like when I saw you start doing artist stuff, I was like, I completely understand, like, because I have so much material and I have released stuff here and there, but I get so tied up in everything that I do. But I understand that engineer that's just like sitting behind that desk and just working for everybody else and just putting yourself and your own music like on the back burner, you know? Is that what you were doing or no?
I wasn't an artist. I didn't even.
Oh.
I never wanted to be an artist. I was never
Of course
making.
you didn't.
No,
I don't think you ever wanted anything. Like, is there anything you do want? Because I would love to see what you could do with that.
That's so funny because that's so true. I never thought about that, but it's so true. I've never wanted anything. I've
Never
ever done.
wanted anything. But I think you do want to be this, speaker.
I do, and I do.
So we found something.
I do very much, and I think that this is always what was supposed to happen to me, right? So the record is my story of how I went from hating myself to loving myself, and I didn't know that I was writing this record. I would just start to write songs and sing them. Like even being an artist, that's a whole story that we don't even have time for. How it came. The album that I ended up writing is my story of how I went from hating myself to loving myself. The Inner Compass, all that stuff. I just didn't even try to do any of this. It was just kind of me
Finding yourself.
finding myself
No
and
way.
like writing down what I was going through and what the story was. And it turned this whole thing. Like the Inner Compass is like a 150-page workbook now. I thought I was writing like a 10-page printout. Okay. And it just like
So how many pages?
150.
What, your book?
Yes.
Okay.
And the album, I was just writing songs until I realized I was writing the songs, but I didn't try to write any of the songs. I just said, the album will be done when life lets me know the album is done. And, you know, my story, we talked about my whole music journey here, but my story is really like about how I didn't want to be here for most of my life. I didn't think it was impossible. I didn't think it was possible to enjoy life, to enjoy it even when it was hard. In fact, to be grateful that it was hard, that I could even feel things at all, because I spent my life only really feeling depressed.
Yeah.
I just pushed everything down for so long. And then I'm so fortunate for what happened in music, the ups, the downs of it all. Like the record is fire, just to be clear. Okay?
There she goes. How many songs are on it?
16.
Oh, wow.
But I wouldn't be this good. I wouldn't be able, I record, vocal produce, mix myself. You know, I'm fortunate to have a producer who makes all the beats on the record, who's my musical partner.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm able to do all of this. I became a writer simply by being an audio engineer and sitting in the room with some of the best songwriters and producers in the world.
That is the good part of working with majors.
No, absolutely.
Because there's people better than you. Everyone almost was better than me in the room. Once I came back to Philly, it was like I was the one that knew a lot and everybody else didn't. So who am I learning from? But anyways.
Yeah. But I just, I wrote this album like from me to me. It's my story. I'm not here trying to tell you like that I can heal you. I'm just here to show you that it's possible to heal. And I just feel so strongly to share my story because I know there's so many people who don't think it's possible to like enjoy life.
Yeah.
And I just want to show you that it really is. Like, and I'm just here trying to tip the scale from me not wanting to be here to like loving every difficult, amazing second of it.
Yeah. I love that. And what's the name of the book?
So it's the Immaculate Mindset Inner Compass.
Okay.
And the name of the record is On One.
On one. Okay. All right, cool. And that comes out. So that'll be out, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be
by the
out.
time this comes out. All right. So how is music your hero?
I'm about to pull a line from Titanic.
Do it
Music is my hero, because it saved me in all the ways that a girl could be saved.
up. There you go.
If you don't know Titanic, then you're like, why is that so funny? But for real, you know, because like, look, any of the tough stuff that happened wasn't music, you know, and even I was talking about how I became a songwriter. Like, when I had my breakdown, it wasn't the first time that I couldn't go into my studio. Okay, like I burn out badly many times, and my producer Ty, who produced the record, like just showed up. The universe just showed up, and one day he sends me a beat, and I listen to the beat, and then I write a song, and that's like when the sonics of me now, like, come, and I realize, oh, I still love music.
Yeah.
And like while I'm in like this dark, literally the first song of the record's called Up. I was laying on the studio floor, my face on the ground, being like, "You're such a piece of shit. You're such a up. You're such a up." And then I thought, I've been up all my life. And I got up and I wrote that song.
Yeah.
Like, so from the first time I heard Biggie, when it made me understand who I was, and then carried me through the darker times, and then took me around the world, okay, and had me like working with some of the best people, and Kelly Rowland gave me half her sandwich one time.
Yeah.
Like, and then I completely break down, and when I'm grasping at straws, there it is again. And now I have this beautiful experience that I get to share with the world. So yeah, music saved me in every way that you could ever be saved.
Wow. That's cool. That's a good story. I love the view, and there's a lot to learn. So be on the lookout for AMAC's book. Follow her, and, you know, let her be some words of encouragement and light through the dark days. Because she's living the dream now.
I am. And, you know, the only dream worth living is enjoying your life.
Oh, there she goes. All right. Well, thank you for coming here and taking the time to talk to me. And are you going to perform later?
Hell yeah.
We're going to have AMAC in the building a little later, so that's exciting. All right, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Until next time, keep creating, keep connecting, and keep building together. Remember, we're in this together, so let's keep each other's shine alive.